Hey everybody, welcome back to Soft Wash Evolution for another video. I'm going to do a full soft wash today. Painted cement board siding on this house, and I've also got a lot of moss on this asphalt shingle roof that we're going to soft wash. The thing is, this homeowner was told to pressure wash that roof. That's not the way you want to do it. Stay tuned, I'll show you the right way to get it done. So I'm going to start with the roof. I've finished wetting everything down underneath here. There's not a lot of vegetation, just some grass, a few plants down here at the bottom, and there is a gutter. Downspouts over there. I flooded that gutter downspout. I've got my soft wash pump at a 5%. Still getting just water now. Just pushing out the last bit. And I'm going to start with that roof. What we want to do is treat that moss and all that algae and lichen and stuff like that that's growing on those shingles. Asphalt shingles are very delicate. You never want to pressure wash them. This customer was told to pressure wash their roof or have it pressure washed, which is originally why they called me. They bought this house not that long ago. My mix is starting, I can smell it. So what we're gonna do is get right up there where that moss is growing. Make sure we hit it direct. Nice and easy. In between these gable windows, or dormers here, I meant. There's no sun. The south is that way, so they're constantly shaded. They don't get any sun in there, and the water's always dripping off of those dormers onto the shingles, keeping them wet constantly. So not surprising there's moss growing in those areas. But what I was saying with this customer, they bought this house. Their inspector who inspected the roof and the whole house told them, yeah, there's moss growing. The insurance company's not going to like that. You're going to want to get rid of it. Just get a pressure washer up there and blast it off. And the home inspector said that. So it just shows you how little professionals even know about how to clean surfaces. And this isn't just cleaning. This is protecting the roof, because this moss is basically putting a wet carpet or a wet blanket on your roof. It's just keeping those shingles wet all the time, and then it lifts them up because it starts to form a root under the shingles. Very, very damaging for a roof to have moss on it. So we're going to treat all of it. Make sure we soak it right in there, and you'll see it turn like a pale yellow white. While I wash the rest of the house, we'll give it some dwell time. We'll come back and rinse it right off. There's actually moss on that chimney too, so I'm treating that as I go. Nice and easy. You don't want to lift a shingle. You're just letting the chemical do the work with soft washing. This is a 24-volt pump. I've featured it in a lot of videos, so I can reach the peak of this house from the ground easily. I don't even have it wide open right now. If I were to go, I'm not going to shoot it over the trees into the backyard, but I can reach over that roof. If you had a 12 volt, you probably wouldn't reach that high. You'd probably want to be on a ladder on the leading edge. You just work small sections at a time. And this is 5% SH. It's very hot. So you want to wet everything first, like I said. And if there was no gutter, you'd really want to you'd even have your pressure washer running right now with your hose out, just with pure water, just ready to go, just in case you got some overspray. I wet everything already, but you can see I'm getting a little bit of overspray on the house and on the windows. I'm going to wash the whole thing. I wet it first, and I'm going to wash it too. So I'm not too worried about it. And we're not in the sun. We're on the north side back here. Well, it's actually the front of the house is the north right here. If it were full sun, I would definitely be keeping everything wet, because you don't ever want it to dry on the surface. A lot of moss right there in that dormer. We'll go back to the top and let it run to us. This roof will look great when we're done. As far as the moss goes, when it's not too thick over there on that side, it is, but I'd say 50% of it's going to come off before we leave. I'll give it a little bit of a fresh water rinse at the end when I'm done. I've got to wash the whole house and the deck, so it'll probably take me an hour, so this stuff will have plenty of dwell time. We'll give it a rinse. Some of it will come off right away. The rest has to dry. It'll die, and it'll dry, and then it'll come off. Soft washing roofs is one of the most profitable services. You have to have a soft wash pump. You're not going to go at this with an X-Jet or a downstreamer with a pressure washer. I've seen people do it. I've seen people try it. You're not getting more than a 2% out of a chemical injector, I hate to tell you. Some guys swear they're getting 3. Well, even if you are, it's still not enough. You really need 5% or hotter to get roofs clean, especially when there's moss involved. I've got surfactant right in with this too. So it makes it a little thicker. If you see my foam, lets me know where I've sprayed and where I haven't. And it keeps it from running so fast. You want that stuff to dwell. You want it to sit in there. Because the moss is, it'll absorb anything you spray at it, even SH. So it just kind of soaks it up in it. You want it to get right down to the root. Back over here, get it once more so I can get around that chimney. All the way to the top of that peak. Moss growing on that hardy board corner there. Paint's already failed on the chimney, which is too bad. They're gonna have to repaint that, but kill it, make sure it's ready for them to paint. So I'm gonna let that roof dwell. I'm gonna wash the house. We'll come back to the video when we're ready to rinse that. So I've got that whole roof applied. Now I'm just doing the house. This is painted siding, you know, real easy with it. And it's not that dirty. This side over here is probably the dirtiest. Whole front is done over here. I haven't rinsed the roof yet, but I applied and rinsed to the house. I am downstreaming chemical injector 2.1, so 1% SH soap mixed in, or blended in the manifold rather. And you're going to treat it just like you would any other house wash. Apply from the bottom up, rinse from the top down. This painted siding does get the algae and all the organic stuff that grows in it. And if you pressure wash it, you'll take the paint right off. So, soft wash it, nice and gentle. Fit myself in between here. Customer is on a well. It's a very rural area. So I did have to wait a few for get enough water in there so I wouldn't have to stop. Rinsing is very important when you're doing roof washing especially. You always want to make sure you have plenty of water. You could overspray on something, or I have a remote blend manifold. Remote's in my pocket, so I can switch to water whenever I need it. Don't have to walk back to the truck. Same thing with my downstream injector, is all remote. Can switch to water when I want without walking. Saves you time. But if you get, let's say you had 5% or 6% SH, something real hot in your roof wash mix, and you know, squeeze the trigger when you didn't mean to, or you got overspray when the wind was blowing, you got it all over some nice plants and flowers, you're gonna want water right away. Key is keep it wet first. Get the ground wet. Get all the shrubs and plants and flowers wet. If there's a lot of shrubbery and plants, cover them up with plastic. Some people cover everything with plastic every time. The reason I don't, especially in this case, well, I do if it's a lot of flowers, sensitive things, and if it's in full sun. With this is the north side. It's all shaded. There's just a few little plants here, enough I could keep wet. Another thing with covering it with plastic, it kind of gives you a false sense of security. Covering the plants up with plastic keeps the leaves, the SH and stuff off the leaves and the plants and the flowers, the part you can see. The stuff gets into the ground and gets into the roots. That's what you can't see. The plastic does not prevent that. So some people think, oh, I covered my shrub and my plants with plastic, I can blast SH all over them, it won't get on them. No, it still will. It's getting into the root. How do you think a plant drinks? It gets all of its nutrients from the soil, pulls through the root. So you get it on there and let it sit, it's still going to get into the soil. So the key is wet the ground, wet everything. I mean a lot too. You're gonna be there for this whole side. I was 10 minutes just soaking everything. Every blade of grass. I want the ground so wet when I step on it, I can hear it squish. Get the ground wet, plants wet. Then you can put your plastic over to keep the, if it's in full sun. But just remember, and then when you take the plastic off, more water. Roof washing takes time just because it's more of the prep and the cleanup than it is the actual roof wash. And when you're by yourself like me, you know, that time you could be spent doing another house. So I charge quite a bit for roof washing, but you got to get it, you know, you got to do a few, figure out how to do it. You'll get faster at it, get some better equipment, but it's one of those things you really got to take your time. Otherwise you'll do more harm than good. And as far as pressure washing a roof, you're out of your mind. If you're getting a pressure washer anywhere near asphalt shingles, you're not doing your customer a service. You're destroying things, even if it doesn't show right away. And the fact that this home inspector told the customers just pressure wash that moss off the roof, I'm actually not surprised. Home inspectors I've never met one that knows what they're talking about. They're usually just people that are hired by the bank, and you know, they'll tell you, hey, you need a roof because the people at the bank told me to tell you to get a new roof, and we have a roofing, a roofing contractor set right up. So yeah, you need a roof. Yeah, your furnace is old, you need a new one. I just happen to know the guy that runs the furnace company. So I'm sure there's some home inspectors out there that are generally good at their jobs and good people. I just never met them. So I'm going to continue to rinse this side of the house. I'm going to pull the hose the other way to the south side of the house where the sun is, and there's also a deck over there. I'm going to pressure wash that deck for them too. When all that's done, I'll be ready to rinse that roof that you see right there, all that moss. We'll get some of that moss to come off right away. A lot of it will still be there. I'll get the camera up close. Maybe I'll take the ladder out. We'll jump up there and get a closer look at it. Rinse this window really well here. A lot of dirt. A lot of spider webs too. Let's go. See another cut in the video. I'm going to pull everything to the other side, wash the back, and we'll come back and we're ready to rinse that roof. So here I'm back around to the front. It's been about an hour. I went and washed that deck, washed the whole house, the rest of the house, and we're ready to rinse this roof. So this is nothing but water now. Turn my soft wash, or my blend manifold, the valves are shut, just the water valve now. So we're just gonna put some water to it. We're not trying to break any of that moss off with water pressure. This isn't pressure washing. Again, it's all soft washing. Let the chemical do the work. You can get up there and, take a brush and scrape some of that moss off. Some of it would come off, but it's better to just let it do it naturally. The wind and the rain, now that moss is dead, you see how, I'll take you up there closer in a second. I've got a ladder right here next to me. I'll set it up. Once I get some water on this roof, and you'll see what it looks like now. It is all yellow and white. It's dead. Now that it's dead, it's just like if you took weed killer and sprayed it on a nice lush green lawn. It will turn, yellow and brown within the hour, maybe even within a few minutes, depending on how strong it was. And what happened is you just killed the root. The root is where the moss is pulling its moisture from, and that's how it's drinking and eating, just like these plants I was describing, that if you get SH onto the ground, it's still gonna get under those plastic tarps and kill the plants. So you kill the root to that moss, it can't live anymore. No more water, no more nutrients. The moss is a plant, it's a weed. If you kill it, it has no root, it's dead. It will fall off. Just like that grass I was saying, spray some weed killer on the ground. That grass, your nice lush green lawn, will turn yellow and brown. Within a few days, the grass will be gone because the wind will just blow it away. It'll have no root, it's got nothing left to hold it. That's how you soft wash a roof with moss on it. Keep everything wet in the ground, keep the house wet. Apply a nice strong mix, roughly 5% to the whole roof. Make sure you touch every inch of it. This one's got gutters, so I control where it's going, but I always give it a rinse when I'm done. I want to know where that mix went. All is going to go down that downspout. And this is nice and soft. I'm not up there on a ladder 6 inches from those shingles just blasting away. Some people do that. That's pressure washing. It's not a real roof wash, roof soft wash. That is the hack way of doing it, as it's known. So I'm just gonna make sure I touch every shingle, and then I'll jump up on the ladder, grab the camera, and I'll take you up closer to see what that roof looks like. All in, I think I don't know the time because I didn't pay attention to what time it was when I got here, but the roof's been dwelling for about an hour. I had some setup time. My customer was here when I got here. She left with the kids. So I had to make sure my truck was out of the way. I didn't want to run over my hoses when she left. So And again, just water. Keep the ground wet, keep the plants wet. You can see the downspout. I don't know if you can see that far, but you can see some of my soap is coming out of the downspout there in the mix, so I'll have to keep flooding that. Make sure we keep it wet. So let me switch over this. We'll jump up on the ladder. So this is what moss looks like after it's been soft washed. This is 1 hour of dwell. I've got to clean these gutters out because now some of the moss has gone down and filled in the gutters. Some of it falls down, like I said. If you were to touch this right now, I'm just going to use I don't have my gimbal, I'm holding the phone with one hand here. So if you were to touch this leading edge of the shingle, this moss is all nice and white, it will come right off. You'll notice it doesn't have a root left to it. It falls right off, these tiny little pieces. As this dries, the moss is all swelled up with water. That's why it's that big. But if I take this piece here, it's about that big, but if you squeeze that and got all the liquid out of it, all the water out of it, it's very, very small. So once this dries, it's going to shrivel right up to much smaller. Take you over here. This is this part that was, the sun is going to be right in that camera, so I'm trying to get it where it's not going to be blinding that lens. But this is what it looks like. All these shingles, all this moss is dead. We want it white to pale yellow. You can see if I touch it just with my fingers, it comes right off. So yeah, if I were to take a pressure washer and hold that gun and hammer, just like if I was pressure washing a wood deck, yeah, all this stuff will come off, but you'll take so many stones with it too, and you'll destroy that roof. Nice and gentle. As a couple of days, if we don't get any rain, these things will shrivel right up and they will become very, very small. All that water, all the liquid will leave them and they'll fall right off. They have no root, nothing left holding it. That's the way you soft wash your roof. Again, you're going to need a dedicated soft wash pump, whether it's a 12 volt, you can get a bigger 24 volt, you can get a gas powered pump, control where the mix goes, get it good and hot. If you have moss, you're going to want at least 5%. And then give it a rinse after, sometimes it only needs 20-30 minutes of dwell time. I gave this one about an hour because I was washing the whole house too. All I've got to do is blow out these gutters, continue to rinse the ground, and I'm out of here. Jobs like this can pay pretty big, depending on how the size of the roof, and if it's a 2-story roof, you charge even more. You can make a lot of money soft washing roofs as long as you do it correctly. So all the building inspectors out there, you don't pressure wash asphalt shingles. Until next time, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks.